Accept yourself as you are. You should always be improving. One feels compassionate. The other feels ambitious. And somehow, we're expected to live by both at the same time, without tearing ourselves in half. So which one is it? Are we enough? Or are we a work in progress? Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Jill. I make short commentaries where I slow down and explore ideas like this with honesty, curiosity, and without rushing to an answer. So today, let's slow down and look at these two statements. Let's start with the first one. Accept yourself as you are. It sounds healthy, mature, grounded. It pushes back against shame. It says your worth isn't waiting at the finish line. You don't have to fix everything about yourself before you're allowed to feel okay. There's relief in that. You're not a problem to solve. You're a person. But if we're honest, this advice can get slippery. Because sometimes accept yourself turns into avoid the hard things. It can become a shield. You stop challenging certain patterns. You excuse behaviors that quietly hold you back. You say, "That's just how I am," when maybe the truer sentence is, "I don't want to look at that yet." Acceptance is powerful, but comfort can disguise itself as wisdom. Now the other side. You should always be improving. This one sounds strong, motivated, disciplined. It assumes you're capable of more patience, more focus, more courage. It treats your life like something expandable, and there's something energizing about that. But stay there too long, and it gets exhausting. There's always another habit to fix, another weakness to correct, another morning routine you should be waking up earlier for. You're never quite enough. Just almost. You wake up already behind. Improvement turns into evaluation, and evaluation turns into self-criticism. You stop living your life. You start auditing it. You become your own performance review. And that's the tension. If you only accept yourself, you might stall. If you only improve yourself, you might quietly decide you're never enough. One says, "You're fine." The other says, "Not yet." And if you swing too hard towards either one, something in you starts to feel off. Either stagnant or inadequate. So maybe the problem isn't choosing between them. Maybe it's understanding what each one is actually for. Acceptance isn't resignation. It's a starting point. It says, I don't have to hate myself to grow. Improvement isn't self-rejection. At its healthiest, it says, I care enough about my life to shape it. The danger only shows up when acceptance becomes avoidance or improvement becomes punishment. Maybe acceptance is the foundation, and improvement is what you build on top of it. You don't renovate a house by declaring it worthless, and you don't preserve it by refusing to repair anything. You live in it. You care for it. You strengthen what needs strengthening. But you don't bulldoze it because it isn't perfect. There's also something subtle here. Sometimes we reach for improvement because we feel behind. And sometimes we reach for acceptance because we feel tired. The question might not be which philosophy is correct. The better question might be, what do I need more of right now? Do I need permission to rest in who I am? Or do I need a gentle push forward? Because the same advice that heals you in one season can limit you in another. You can accept who you are without freezing yourself there. You can work on yourself without turning your current self into an enemy. Acceptance says, I'm allowed to be here. Improvement says, I'm allowed to evolve. They don't cancel each other out. They support each other. Maybe the balance sounds something like this. I'm okay as I am, and I am still becoming. Not because I'm broken, not because I'm behind, but because growth is part of being alive. Growth doesn't have to mean dissatisfaction, and self-acceptance doesn't have to mean you're done. You don't have to choose between compassion and ambition. You just have to know which one you need a little bit more of today. And maybe that's the real tension we're navigating. Not whether we're enough, but whether we can hold enoughness and growth at the same time. If this gave you something to think about, even quietly, that's enough for today. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next one. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day.